good? It's your girl, Chef Third Eye Zoe, here with you in Trive Vibe. Are you ready for some black culture, some love, and some laughs? Let's go. What's good? This Chef Third Eye here. It's been a minute, but baby, I haven't gone anywhere. I did think for a second that I was going to stop doing my podcast, but I had a reminder from a fan and someone that was appreciative of the information, and I appreciated it, and it motivated me to hop back in here to give the people what they wanted. And I hope this continues to grow because I know this is something that I'm just starting, and podcasts, can take so many shapes and forms, and it just takes the audience and connecting with that. So in saying so, I want to dip and dab a little into myself this episode and talk about Black women and being profiled, or even self-care, self-awareness, all of those things kind of all in one. So let's get into it, and let's talk about how Black women are made to feel and to look as if they're always angry, and it's only, for me personally, it puts me in a place of intimidation. People feel intimidated by who we are, and instead of embracing us for our originality and the actual depth of what we bring to society, then we're made to look like, oh my gosh, this person is so horrible and mean, and it's just not the case. I've got a couple of examples to give you and some things I've done to just pretty much try to stay positive and focus on what's important, which is education, and not allowing, anybody and everybody to even come at you in that manner simply because they don't know you and they're not giving you a chance. It's just all based on what society tells you or society norms are as far as the way we're treated, from healthcare to just being a woman in society, relationships, work, all of that good stuff. So let's get into it. And Black women, I want you to speak up on this topic. I want you to reach out to me, make some comments, tell me how you feel, tell me some things you've been going through. How do you think we can alleviate some of this intimidation, fear factor that people feel? And it's unrealistic. It doesn't make sense. Embrace us, learn to love us for who we are, because we are unique in our own way. We have this queendom about us that, it just can't be replicated. But at the same time, it's not the level of respect that we should have for what we give to society, So hop on in here. Let's have this conversation. And let's start with this story that's really kind of been bothering me, something I've personally been going through. And I don't know if anybody's ever kind of been through this experience. If you have, definitely reach out, because I'm trying to look for some guidance as well as trying to figure out ways. And I'll give you some things that I'm doing now to try to, see what I can do about the situation myself. Just got back from Jamaica. And if you've definitely watched me online, you've seen my journey, and you've seen just, the beauty of that self-care and self-awareness that I was able to do. And being LGBTQ, a lot of us refuse to go to Jamaica. That's a whole nother episode that I definitely want to do with my travels, as far as, making sure we as Blacks are getting out there and traveling. But yes, Jamaica is a very necessary place for healing, if nothing else, so let's get into this conversation. All right, so we are ready to go. I had to get me some blunts rolled, get my mind ready, get me something to drink, which is just some water, because I have to, when I'm talking a lot, my throat gets dry. So having something nearby to drink makes it very helpful. All right, so this is going to be a little emotional and personal for me. I don't know. I try not to get personal, but I realized that I did this podcast to get personal and to bring awareness to the Black community, from things from mental health to just, being a part of the Black community, things we go through, and that's to make everyone aware. If you're watching on the YouTube, and you can see it on my actual website, I went to Jamaica and I brought back the seashell and I put it in my hair, and you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me this ain't the seashell of all seashells, because it's so authentic and original, and it was definitely plucked, from the richness of the land. So that makes me feel even better. Another thing I brought back, because I really did not do a live, and that's another thing I want to talk about with mental health, but that'll be another day. But sometimes I just don't want to do lives. I just don't feel like being in front of people and trying to talk to people and waiting for people to, want to conversate with me, or people not coming on at all. For me, it is mentally draining, but I need to kind of get over it and try to do better. But I did bring back this peace pipe, this chalice, whatever you want to call it. And I have not done anything with it yet. So you guys are going to be the first ones to see what this looks like when it's lit and what it feels like when you take that pull. So yeah, here it is. It's got the little black artwork. Looks like a little smoke if you see it here. Yeah, I think that's really sexy, and it's, authentic wood. I forgot the name of the wood. Somewhere along the line I'll remember, and I'll let you guys know. You can look at my social media for more pictures. So, you know what? Let's light it up. Let's light the chalice. Whew. No, this is not edited. God darn. This is some good. Yeah, that was a good pull. It didn't get hot at all. But I definitely didn't hold it in long. You saw how much smoke came out of there. Let me try this again. Woo! Listen, you see how my eyes are watered? They turning red. What we smokers say that was a good call. 1 second. You got to take gentle pulls with this motherfucker. It is mean, but it's good mean. And look at it. It's such a chill pipe, like you could be like, it's still coming out. And then you want a little bit more, you can go. Oh yeah. They call him Bob the Builder, the Jamaican Bob the Builder. Shout out. If you check my TikTok, I had posted him for my Business Mondays. And when I meet you, we do good business, definitely know I'm going to post you. I'm going to represent. I'm going to feature you somehow so people can know and they can come and support you too. All right. So there was a while ago, I would say back in December, where I was really into my depression. And that's the thing about me. With me, depression comes in a different way. I get really quiet, or I just really get to myself. I think that's one clear thing about me, that that I'm not in a good place. Or sometimes, because I am a Taurus, a couch potato, I just want to be left alone. So I have those moments where that is the case. But when you get to know me and you are my friend and you truly care, you'll inquire to see which one of those moments I'm having. And 9 times out of 10, I'll express to you, like, I need this time to myself, or I'm trying to process some stuff, or I don't want to be around you because I don't want to be negative, so one of those things will be said. Whew. All right. So back in December, when I was feeling a little down, on myself is where I started becoming self-aware. Now, with my PTSD and me being in therapy, what happens is something triggers me. Once I'm triggered, then I go into this bout of depression. My anxiety shows up normally like when there's an event or something coming up that puts me in a place like I'm nervous or excited about it, or if there's someone that I'm interacting with that I don't know what the outcome is going to be and I'm nervous, that's when my anxiety kicks in. But my depression is definitely solely off triggers. I just don't wake up and do like, oh no, there's an event or something that happens, it puts me in that place, and then I'm in that place till something else happens that brings me out of it. And it's normally a success or something positive that really like makes me know that one thing is not really something I should be focusing on. So yep, that's what does it for me. So when I go into myself, it's as if like, oh my gosh, I'm in a place now where I've been triggered and I haven't figured out my tools yet, and I'm trying to get to a place where I need to, not be in this feeling anymore, because my depression is more about a feeling. I don't want to do anything. I want to just lay there and I just want to, be to myself. But I realize that the more I be to myself and don't want to say anything, then my personal care is falling off. Like I'm not brushing my hair. I'm not, washing my face and stuff and doing my daily regimens like I should, because I just recently got into really taking care of my teeth like I should, because there's a moment of I'm so overwhelmed that it's not being taken care of properly. That too depressed me, and I didn't even want to do anything. Like I was just done. So at the end of the day, it was that, and then another thing which has to do with personal care, awareness, and just people profiling me as a Black female. Because the thing is, the way I look, I do this, and the way I look is because this is the way I want to look as far as natural, organic, and my locks and all this other stuff. But some people may be threatened by the way I look, and it's okay. That's their personal thing. I can't force you to feel a way about me, but I don't have to feed into it. And so because of that, some people get intimidated either by the way I look or the way I speak. And when I speak intelligently, which is, all the time, but when I speak to some people, because they don't understand that I speak intelligently all the time, they tend to want to try to make it seem as if I'm coming harshly when I'm just truly relaying to you intelligently what you need to understand. And I know some Black women right now are listening to this and can comprehend exactly what I'm saying. So I had a situation where someone had violated my rights as a disabled veteran, and as which I have certain accommodations when I go to school. And this was with the school that I was attending for my culinary arts. So administration and financial aid, I'm dealing with those two entities within the school. And financial aid is really screwing me on my financial aid, and money's coming in and out. And then the school, I was doing homework, and there's some context that I realized that was racist. And I brought it to the administrator's attention. And ever since I did that, then I became the angry Black woman. Then I became, but they weren't saying it to my face, but they started treating me as such. And for instance, the first thing I noticed that was different was that they started making me speak to another Black female within the institution. Now that's one thing, and I don't even know what I want to call it at this point, but there is a certain name for it. But there's when white people feel uncomfortable about dealing with a situation, what they'll do is get another Black person to deal with that Black person, to make the Black person who's having the issue feel comfortable while they're instructing that Black person that they're having to deal with the issue to, do things that are adverse and adverse actions to the other black person. So it makes it look like you're my friend, but you're not. What is the word or the saying goes? You're the enemy of my friend is my brother. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm sure somebody will write it down in the comments and get me straight. But yes, they'll try to make somebody appear to be what we call an Uncle Tom or whatever you want to call it, come and tap dance and tell us something. And because they're coming to tell us, then we should just stop fussing or stop, And that was the first thing that turned me off and made me know that they were definitely not trying to be proactive in dealing with the racism in the racist context of which they were trying to have us, learn from. Because I think it was a test or like some type of end of the chapter test that I was taking, and the question was something to the effect of who would be in these positions, right? And then they had some pictures, and they were like, the black person was like somebody who was like a garbage person. And then all the white people were like a doctor or lawyers. So it was like one of those things where you're, again, making these associations based on the color of your skin of the things that you're capable of doing as far as work. And when I brought it to their attention, they was aware and they acknowledged that it was racial context. And then they made it seem like they wanted me to help change the context. So I went about taking my time and actually writing up some stuff to change it and present it to them. They're like, oh, this is good. So the whole time I'm doing that, they're acting like they're working with me. And then as well, as a disabled vet, when it comes to school, there's certain accommodations from how long I take a test to how, I can go in a certain work environment and what I need. And they refuse to accommodate those things, but they weren't like saying like, no. The first thing they asked me to do was to give them medical proof. So I did. And that took like 3 or 4 months for them to acknowledge that. So if it wasn't them wasting my time, it was them acting as if they didn't have the proper paperwork or whatever to proceed. And they did. And then in the end, they try to turn it around and make it seem like they didn't want to give me my proper credentials at the end or wipe the deck clean because I actually spoke up and I reported them to several different government agencies, which are now looking at the situation, but and then another situation happened at Apple. And this is weird because my charger had frayed somehow, and I went to Apple. In the first incident when I went, this black guy, I showed him my charger and I told him that it wasn't working properly and I needed to get one to see if it was under warranty. So this guy didn't even look at the charger. He told me that because I got the MacBook Pro, and mind you, I didn't have my laptop there. He didn't look at it or anything. He just stated these things to me. He said, because I had my MacBook Pro when it first came out, that the warranty had ran out. So the charger came with the laptop, so that it ran out as well, which would make perfect sense if that was the case. But this was actually a purchased charger that was purchased recently, and the other one had messed up. So that's the first thing that was wrong. But that was like the week before when I came to the Apple store, and he told me that wrong information, which I thought about it. And then in that instance, I just took what he said because I had to process, no, I bought this later and this isn't the one, so it can't be on that. And I could still possibly just switch out a charger instead of buying a whole new one because it's still under warranty. So I go back and I explain this to the manager, like, if I hadn't like thought about it and truly been like took the extra step, I would have lost out on possibly getting this under warranty and getting it switched out and then assuming cost for a charger. So he then proceeds to say, oh, let's test it or whatever. So he tested, and after he tested, and then he's like, well, it's not frayed. And I was like, first of all, it's whatever you want it to be. I just want to get through the process. Is it under warranty or not? So then he's like, but I'm going to switch it out. After he tested it, he saw that the line that had been frayed, and then he was like, but I'll tell you this, it wasn't because it's because it's been dirty and all this stuff. So it was like he was trying to degrade me to do me a favor. And it's not like you're doing me a favor, because again, if you look at the warranty, I can exchange it and I don't have to pay cost. I don't need to beg you for something that is definitely already part of the purchase process. You know, what I purchased into was a warranty as well. So the thing about it is, this is a Hispanic male, you know, wanting me to feel bad or wanting me to kiss his ass to give me something. And that's something I'm never going to do. And, you know, as a black female, there's a tendency, especially from white males and Hispanic males, and definitely that, you know, and some black males too, but the majority of have this tendency to want to degrade us or to talk to us some certain type of way, like they think slavery is still in place or that we're some subhuman. And I just want you guys to be aware, whatever skin color you are, we are equal and we should be treated as such no matter the situation. So when those things happen, now the Apple thing just recently happened. And honestly, I'm going to call back and speak to another supervisor and report him, because I don't want people to experience these things. I don't want another black female to have to go with someone degrading them just because they feel that this is what they need to do to make themselves feel better. And it's racist, and it's not something that we need to tolerate. Like, we don't have to be downgraded or talked down to, you know, just to make you feel better about yourself or to do something for us, you know. So that self-awareness as well, and knowing when, like, is somebody really, you know, taking advantage of me, or somebody really trying to degrade me, and really calling it out for what it is, because we have our Karens and we have our Kens, you know, and they definitely do come in more colors and sizes than just the white variety. So we need to be aware of that and stay on top of that and not let people treat us any kind of way, because then when that becomes the norm, then it becomes harder for us, you know, to get that respect from society. And that has been an issue. But of recent, I can say and give credit to black women for demanding respect and demanding, you know, that we have the understanding that we're not being mean, we're not being negative or anything. We're just telling it like it is. And you want somebody to sugarcoat it for you, or you want to degrade them or talk to them, you know, like they're your kid, just to be able to deal with them because it makes you feel better, you know, and not just understand that we as a society have to treat each other as equals, you know, because all of that and having to deal with all of that in the workplace, at home, or anywhere, it gets to a point where mentally it's like, am I worth anything? You know, that self-worth kicks in. Like, am I going to keep trying to build and be somebody in life, and I can only get so far because of who I am as far as the color of my skin and my gender? Like, it has to come to a point where we're validated as well as human beings, and that's it. You know, it's not because we're black, we're angry. No, we're not. But we have the right to be angry when we want to be angry, you know? And we don't need someone to tell us, oh, you need to smile more or any of that. We don't have to smile more. We can just be exactly who we are and be accepted, and you can be okay with that, because that's why it's a melting pot. People are different, you know, and we have different experiences. And because of that, and like, one thing about black people as a whole, it's so weird, but it's not, because I know there's an explanation that we just haven't put together yet. But then again, you know, we do draw energy from the sun. And it's like, without saying a lot of stuff, a lot of times we're on the same wavelength and we get each other. So when another black woman is being treated badly or taken advantage of, we all feel it. We all see it, you know, even if it's an eye contact thing or actually we speak up or whatever. And I'll give you an example, like sister love. Like, I love my sisters. I don't care. And I love my black people. And I always tell people that I don't give a damn how mad people get with me or how fall out as far as the black community. I'm going to love you, baby, because we go through too much shit for us to be sitting over here like, oh my gosh, I can't be around my people. Nope. I'm the opposite. And I'm just that way. it's just been too much. We got to love each other. We got to find ways. And we want to talk about, oh, it's bad living with black. No, you really got to get to know your people, because I can promise you, no matter what hood I've been to, nowhere, honestly, like, people don't come at me like that. I'm gay. I've been to Jamaica, like stuff like that. And I had no issue. Nobody I felt threatened by, nobody insulted me or anything. It's like, when people have certain ways of living and doing things, you have to respect those things and move accordingly. And that's that, and me, I'm not one to be disrespectful. When you travel, and that's something that a lot of white people don't understand. It's like, when you travel, you're going into someone's culture. Therefore, you act as if you're part of their culture. You know what I'm saying? You embrace their culture. You don't go there and you want to carry your American ways or your racism or whatever the heck you're into, And that's why a lot of times, a lot of you get missing, get into all these situations and stuff, because you're damn disrespectful, and they're just waiting for an opportunity, to do something, and that's not a good place to be. And it's like, not even you may have done that, but somebody else, and then it's reoccurring. Like, when I was in Jamaica this one morning, in the resort that I stayed at, Deja Resort, shout out, good people, great time, definitely took care of me. If you're there, and check me out, because I'm trying to get it so I can get some package deals and we can do a collab or something, to get some more people out to the Deja Resort. It's black owned. It's in Montego Bay. You know what I'm saying? But one morning, I'm there on the balcony drinking my coffee, eating my pastries, and I'm watching the traffic and watching people move like I normally do. So there's this white family. There's a male, a female, and I think like a younger daughter, something like that. But anywho, security is going to take them across the street, because across the street is a swim club that we're all able to go to. And in order to get across the street, they use the stop sign, to help you across the street. So, of course, with the white privilege, they didn't even wait for the security and the stop sign. They just started walking, expected every car to stop. And the cars stopped when they didn't have to. Instead of saying thank you, showing some type of, because that's in the culture in Jamaica. It's like, yeah, man, anything you do for me, I'm going to be appreciative, and I'm going to show you appreciation. I'm going to say thank you, or I'm going to, what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing about them I love. Like, they embraced me with that shit. Like, it was love, yo. So he didn't do that much. So now you think the next time this motherfucker want to come across the street, they're going to even embrace him or even say anything to him. It's a level of respect and understanding for other people in their cultures. Like, stop going different places and being trying to damn do you. You know me, I had to spark something up. We over here having this conversation and shit. Yeah. So, when, there's this self-awareness that people don't give a shit about you, you get to the point of like, okay, why should I care about them? But human nature, and I think that's black people as a whole, not even just black women, but black women especially, we have this way of caring about people, their children, generations, from slavery to getting back to the workforce and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be treated better. We have to demand it too. We have to continue to let people know how we need it to be treated. And getting self-aware, sometimes you got to take a break and get some self-care. Yeah, because it sometimes can be overwhelming. I'm telling you guys, you don't understand. Like, unless you're black, you don't know the feeling. And the black living in America especially, let me say this. You don't know the feeling, and you don't understand the feeling of waking up every single day of your life and wondering if you're going to be killed by the police, by some random freaking racist, or, you just don't know. You're not guaranteed to come home every day like other races, and people don't even understand how that makes you feel. And then you already know, because of the color of your skin, there's a level that you're going to get to in life, and you're never going to get past that level. It's sad. And we wake up every day and we try to have the joy in our hearts. You know what I'm saying? So if you're listening to this podcast and you're not Black, please understand, like, that alone, waking up to every day, yo, it's a weight on your shoulders that you wouldn't even imagine, you know? And it's like, but you're raising this family and you're rearing these kids and you're trying to inspire them and tell them that, you know, you're going to be somebody. You can be anything you want. And it's a lie. It's a lie. And we all know it's a lie because we can't be everything we want. There's levels to this shit. But we have to take care of ourselves so we can have, you know, a long and healthy as possible life. Right? So we talk about self-care. A lot of times, and I've seen this in posts and I've seen this, you know, people saying this like across the board. And I want to know if you agree or disagree. And I'm going to tell you where I, you know, fall on it. But self-care, like nails done, hair done, people say that's not self-care. And I would agree with them because that's like grooming, you know? That's something that you don't have to do to the level of going to pay someone to do it and getting it professionally done. But at some point, you're going to do it just to maintain your body. You know, grooming, hair cutting, bathing and stuff, bacteria, that's like health stuff. It's not just, oh, I want to look good and I like these colors and all this other stuff. No. So we can't consider that self-care, I promise you. But when we do the things that we're not required to do, and not required per se, but just to live and to have a healthy lifestyle to do, and we do those things like take trips for real and not with other people, like for yourself, and meditate or go on excursions, do things you wouldn't normally do to get into those places that heal you or to bring you to a place with a better understanding. Those are things that I call self-care. Do you agree or don't you? You know, and what are some things that you do outside of getting your hair and nails done and your personal grooming stuff to show yourself that you're worthy? You know, that no matter what anybody else do for you, you're going to do for you, you know? And us as Black women, man, listen, we are terrible with self-care. And I know they say Black men don't take care of themselves, but Black women will be sick and the doctor will tell them when they're going to die, and they still out here baking cakes and pies and keeping the grandkids. I promise you, I've seen it all so well. And because of that, we end up dying because we want to take care of people and we can't take care of them when we sick. We can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't. And Lord knows, my mom, bless her heart, till this day, that's her MO. She loves taking care of people. Now she got to focus on taking care of herself, you know, and we want to work, Black women, because we got to take care of all these other people. We don't take vacations. We don't take a spa day. We don't meditate. None of that stuff. We just be on it and we just wear ourselves down. And then the ones that take the breaks, we look at them like they crazy. Like, you know, like somehow they're not real Black women because they not breaking their asses or breaking their bodies down, you know, to the bone. And we have to learn how to enjoy life. It can't be when we retire and we can't damn near walk anymore because we done damn took all these years to be breaking our fingers to the bone for other people, you know, and even if we own our own businesses, just busting our asses to the point where we're so broken down we can barely walk, or we got some ailment or some sickness now that we can't even do the things that we wanted to do. So again, self-care is knowing that you need to take a break whenever, not when you retire, not when the kids go to college, but now, today, tomorrow. If it's for an hour, ask somebody. If you don't have nobody, then schedule where the kids are asleep or at school and you can literally just, if it's nothing else, sleep. That's self-care because your body needs to regenerate, to recharge, to be able to be a healthier you to do whatever else you need to do, you know? So be self-aware that you need to take a break when you need to take a break, and take one. It's just that simple. And if it's like you need to take a travel, like you need to go somewhere and get out and you don't have money like that, then possibly hop on the bus, take a walk. Like, you have to find creative ways to not overload, to not say, oh, I'm going to be here for you and I'm going to make sure you got, and you barely got yourself. You know, make it make sense. In society, you have to understand, stop putting this weight on black women. Stop thinking that we got to be all things to everybody and nobody has to be nothing to us. Because we need the champions. We need the cheerleaders. We need the people who come in and say, hey, take a break. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And we need to learn to embrace each other more. You know, like I was in a grocery store today. So this one sister, she was in a wheelchair and all she had was like some wine. She wanted to buy some wine, but she couldn't figure out how to use the self-checkout. And she was coming to the one that I was at, but I didn't know that she was coming there first because there was another one open. And she was like, oh, sis, I was about to use that. And I was about to use it too. But you know what? That's my sister and she's handicapped. So let me help her so then I can do what I need to do, right? We're not going to argue. None of that. So what can I do for you, sis? So I went ahead and got her stuff so she could check out. And she was able to do so. And you know what? After I did that, I went about my business. And the next thing you know, she came and she was like, thank you, sis. I really do appreciate it. I was like, you're welcome, sis. Anytime. And that's what it should be all the time. But instead, some of us, especially the ones who get in these little white neighborhoods, and I'm going to just go ahead and say it and put it out there. We get in these little white neighborhoods and we want to act brand new. Why though? We don't want to speak. We see each other in the streets. We want to turn our heads like, you know, like, okay. And that's the things for real. Like me with my locks, man, this is the most natural and authentic thing I can be. And you're scared of me, or you don't want to speak to me, or you don't want these white people to see you speaking to me. Why? That discord is only helping every other race but us. Because if we can't, like every other race, they have child molesters, they have drug dealers, whether they selling pills, meth, or whatever the heck they selling, acid, whatever. They're out there too. You know, they committing the crimes. There's not a race that's outdoing anybody else in crime. Okay? So when you be like, I don't fool with them because they did. White people don't do that. They come together, and that's how come they are able to gain more, to, you know, be on a different level. Not that it's better, but be on a different level, especially financially, because they have more access. They stick together, and if somebody say this, then that's what it is. Us, we want to break the ranks, and then we want to go to the white man or go to another person and then talk about your brother, your sister. Stop doing that. Like, for real, learn to embrace each other, learn to come and be able to talk to each other. I was on TikTok like maybe about a week ago. And so this guy had posted what's going on in Chicago. And I was just researching that, like why they're closing all the Walmarts. And let me take a moment to talk about that. Now, with the Walmart situation, my question is, why the fuck was Walmart there in the first place? You know, that's the first problem. Walmart came and made a lot of moms and pops shut down in every single place they were just to get there. So now that they've been sued so many times, because this has nothing to do with theft. This has more to do with them lawsuits they keep getting and they can't get over because they paying out millions and millions of dollars to people they done did wrong. Okay? So that's why they can't be there no more. And if you don't care just that quick to just say, oh, these people need medicine, this, and you can just shut it all down like that, you don't give a fuck. And that's why I say, let's go back to those mom and pop shops and let's bring back our business owners, entrepreneurs back into the community. And that's what y'all need to get better with that. That stuff is pissing me off. And I know it's going to be a bunch of y'all here talking about how you going to say that about Walmart and those people got to travel all this. If y'all was real about y'all brothers and sisters, they wouldn't have to stress that either, because y'all would damn sure create some type of system, whether it be van or something, where somebody is taking trips every single day, as scheduled times of the day when people don't have transportation and they paying for this, you know, and not a lot, just a little bit. It may be $1, $5 in your community, and you going to pick up those prescriptions and making sure those people get their medicine until y'all can get your own pharmacy in the area. Stop depending on these white folk to do everything you need them to do, because they don't have all the answers. They make it look like they got their shit together and they don't. And that's the thing. Once you start really researching, looking into things, finances and stuff, as far as government, you know, economics, all that good stuff, you'll start to see a lot of this stuff, these trends you want to follow, these people you want to follow, is not worth it. And what you need to do is understand the money, understand the math, and understand the reality of what's going on. And when you want to think that, you know, this is a privileged way of living, first of all, Ahmaud Arbery taught me a lot, and there's several other people I can name, but, you know, he lived in an adjacent neighborhood, but he couldn't even jog in the adjacent neighborhood because of the level of racism. And then people say, well, this won't go on in my neighborhood. That's a lie. You don't know. We didn't think it would go on in that neighborhood. And they were no different than the average other white person just walking around until you got them in their little cliques and they were online gossiping and talking about how they had killed this boy. So take it any way you want to take it. I'm going to keep it a buck. And at the end of the day, I'm not putting myself in a position for somebody to want to put a cross in my yard or none of that stuff. And there's so many ways to, you know, stay in your neighborhood and be safe. Like, I have in my house, I have all these lights, you know, motion lights, cameras, and all this other stuff. But that's not, anywhere I live, I would do the same shit. It's not just because I live on the north side of Vegas, which people be like, oh, it's so bad. No, because I have definitely had bad experience on the south side, Henderson, because those are places, and on the Strip, because those are places where I chef. Those are places where I bartend. So I'm definitely speaking from experience. Absolutely not North Pecos, but definitely in other parts of supposedly posh places. There have been places where there's been theft, there's been race, like all kinds of stuff. Okay, so, and I'm not saying that, you know, it's not anywhere else, but I'm saying for Vegas to be so whatever, Vegas is racist in a lot of different ways. You just got to pick it up and understand what the hell is going on. For one, the level of people, or the amount of white boys with the trucks with the flags on them and all the different what's it called, white supremacy gangs and stuff, stickers that they have on the back, you know, they don't care. It's just whatever. And you have to be aware, and you have to make sure, like, every day when you're going out in these streets, because what did I lead with? We don't know if we're going to come home every day. Like, this is the type of life we have to live, which is sad. Forget all the violence with the guns and stuff. As a black individual, our lives are on the line every single day we walk out our homes. So living here in Vegas, dealing with that, dealing with Proud Boys and all this other stuff, you have to see it for what it is. You have to be careful, and just, you know, being a part of this whole society of just trying to make it, and people just wanting to hold you down because of the color of your skin is ridiculous. Like, at some point, you have to see it for what it is, and black people stop wanting, again, to be a part of something that doesn't want you a part of it. Like, you have to pick it up for what it is. I don't care how much money you make at your job, yo. And this is what people don't understand. Like, a lot of black people, and I'm going to say this, and I hope that people share this with those who are, you know, those rich, posh black people. I don't care how much money you got. At the end of the day, you still black. And if they don't want you there, they will do whatever it takes to get rid of you. And they don't care. They don't care about your money. And that's the thing that you have to understand, baby. You can have all the money in the world. You know, there's certain country clubs and places you can't go. And you have to be real about that and stop trying to make it seem like the more distance you get from your black people, the better off you are, because there's less to worry about. No, There's a lot of stuff, and they've already labeled it that way because they want it to seem nice, white collar crime and all this other stuff. But no, in those neighborhoods, there's people in the basements. In those neighborhoods, there are people who are working as indentured slaves, because they've been bought and they just can't even leave the house. These people are holding their passports and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in these neighborhoods that y'all swear that y'all better off in, because you done came up. And no, I'm telling you, learn to love your people, especially the black woman, because Mother Earth, what I'm saying? We help rear every single race, and we still go home and rear our own. Give the food, make sure they get in the bed, all that good stuff. So we got to do better about the way we come across and the way we protect. Like black men, you got to do better about protecting us. You got to do more speaking up for us. I don't care if we gay or we straight. You got to learn to stop being silent and allowing stuff to happen to us in your presence. And it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. The silence is what's getting us in these situations, or turning on us, when you get to a certain level. Now, one person I want to really elaborate on that about is Clarence Thomas, because the thing with Anita Hill, it still bothers me till this day. I know I speak about it a lot on a lot of different forums and stuff, but it bothers me because I feel in my heart that man really was guilty of the things that woman said that he did. And, he got in this place, and it's like, fuck all of y'all black people. And this man is over here on the highest court in the land, and he's able to dodge IRS, gifts and stuff like that. And he's always got a reason for the shit that he does. And his wife is over here with the damn insurrection stuff, and that's still she still really hasn't been brought charges, or she really hasn't had to answer for that. And it's scary. I don't know, but I do know, what I'm saying? This man is very influential, and he can, with the laws that he makes or the laws that he denies, he can really, manipulate a lot. So all these gifts and stuff, it's not for nothing. But then now, as being on the Supreme Court, they're put in a position to really be lawless. You can do whatever you want, and then you making the laws. Or somebody can come to you and give you a damn trip to freaking Cancun or Bali, and then you can give them a restriction on this law or send it back or whatever, for real. And half of the Congress wants to dig into it, and the other half is scared or is getting some type of benefit and don't want to touch it. That's something that needs to change. I don't care how you want to have three branches. Everybody needs their checks and balances, and that's what it was supposed to be. But it don't seem like the Supreme Court really has checks and balances. It just has checks. Really. So, again, another person in another situation where the black woman was made to look horrible. You hear me? They tore that woman down, asking all those questions, even to include Biden, because he was there too, asking that woman them questions about, what the situation she said that had, the alleged situation that happened, which is in a nutshell that Clarence Thomas supposedly had taken indecent liberties with her or raped her back in the 80s or early 90s. I think back in the 80s. And this was back in the 90s or early 2000s when they actually had the whole Congress hearing, and she had to come in, talk about misogynistic, talk about chauvinist, all these damn men, and even some of the women sitting there drilling this woman about a sexual experience or a sexual encounter that happened to her, and then even after this woman told this illicit situation, they still voted this man in like she never sat there and said nothing. Same thing, I was going to say Monica Lewinsky, but we're not going to get into that because I'm talking about black women. But I just want you to understand, black men, you got to do more than just stand back and see what's going to happen, or, say a little something. No, you got to protect us. If it takes standing in between somebody and saying, I'm not going to allow you to do that today, sir. We need you. We need you. And it's not, I don't have to be, if I'm gay, it's not like I don't need protection from a man. Gay doesn't equal masculinity. Gay equals, this is the person I choose to be with, and that's that. And let's not get that confused any other way. We need to be there for the women who have been there for us from the start of creation, who continue to show us that no matter what is done to us, we're going to continue to hold it down. We're going to continue to be there for everybody else. We're going to continue to make sure those kids are reared properly, But we can't keep doing this by ourselves, and we can't keep letting our health fail, our education, or anything fall by the wayside, black women, just because we want to see somebody else shine. We have to be the ones to shine for ourselves, because we definitely can be more influential in a lot of ways, And the thing is, even now with the Vice President Kamala, what's sad is that they make her look like a token person, but behind the scenes, and even like in front of the scenes, when she's popping up and going to the places first and Biden's not even there, she's not getting the press or whatever. And that's the thing. They're like, this is a token black person to be in this place, but she's doing what she can do. And the only thing that we can do, or one of the things that we can do to make it better, is stop hating on the fact that her shit is so limited, and just appreciate the fact that she's in the places where she's trying to show up in. And yeah, she's not all right on all the things she say and all this other stuff. And that's why I tell you, we have to learn to stick together for a better tomorrow. We have to learn to get out there, vote, and get the right people in the right places, especially us black women. I'm still tripping over what happened in Georgia with the elections with, why can't I think of her name right now? But y'all know what I'm talking about. And that was just a whole hot mess. Oh, Adams, right? Stacey Adams. Why? What happened? Why wasn't she elected? And that's a black man thing again, because based on the feedback I was getting right around the election, it was like some things that she had said, and it made black men feel less than, so they didn't vote for her, or something about voting, And go talk to your sister. That's what you should have done, because it wasn't no reason to boycott her. And then now we got people in there that's not even there thinking about nothing, none of the things that we need to get accomplished. And you think you won. No, you lost. And you're going to continue to lose every time when you want to be like, oh, she too mean, oh, she too aggressive. Because, hey, if we don't put our foot down, and if we don't have some type of backbone, a lot of times stuff not going to get done, because behind, like they say, every great man, there's a great woman. And a lot of times it's a black woman, and then they go to the white women. And we know this. I'm not finna sit up here in front for y'all, and I'm not finna sit up here and make it seem like nothing is not. We got to start putting our black women on pedestals. We got to allow them to get the self-care they need. And then we have this, when we have this self-awareness, we have to take the next step and do something with it. If somebody's treating us badly, we need to report it and make sure that, our voices are heard and known. So it is for documentation purposes or anything else, because we can't keep being silent and people are treating us badly, places and things that we're doing, because when it then becomes put to the forefront, it'll stop. And we've seen this. It doesn't have to be violent. Just speak up. And when another woman is speaking up, don't sit silent, agree. Say something. Be there for her. But we have to do better, because if one of our sisters fall, all of our sisters fall. We in this together. It's a queendom. And that's for real, because we can't fight against each other and fight against the enemy, to win, because there's a lot of places that we should be. There's a lot of places that we need to sit in the rooms. But if we sit silent, then that's what it'll be. We have to speak up. We have to let people know that we're being treated badly, especially with like childbirth and stuff. I ain't having any more kids, and I'm definitely past that age. But at the same time, women, find you a black doctor. If you can't find one, maybe do a doula or do something home birth or whatever. But going to the hospital and then after you have a child, in the process of having a child, you lose your life or something happens that's irreversible. We gotta be more aware, and we gotta speak up and stop going to these doctors and telling them that you're okay or your pain is just fine, because that's hurting us too. Speak up about your pain level and let them know. And when they start that, and minimizing it, correct them and say, no, this is what I need. Because when you go to the doctor, it's a copay, and it's not they tell you and you just go with it. No, you ask questions. If it's not feasible to you, if it doesn't make sense, get a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion. Stop going to these one doctors and immediately they want to have surgery. Immediately they want to give you this. No. We're guinea pigs. We've been guinea pigs. They done made a whole instrument to do the checkups with, based on black women being violently assaulted just to get this creation made. So we got to learn how to speak up, when to speak up, and stop being afraid of people talking about we mean or whatever, and correct them when they say that, or you know what I'm saying, or we're this or we're that, to try to demean us because our presence is too great. We're amazing. All my sisters were beautifully amazing, and we're all wonderfully made, and we need to continue to remember that every single day, no matter what we do. Girl, it's giving queendom, beautiful. It's giving love. It's giving luscious. It's giving all colors of the mother freaking coloring book. I can't even say more. Oh my gosh, So I want you to love on yourself more. I want you to truly take some self-care. And I want you guys in the comments, and when you're watching this, send me some video, whatever, some self-care you've done, so I can start posting stuff like this for real and get that love out there. I would love that. So for this episode, I want you to send me some self-care or some self-awareness videos or pictures, some things that you've done to let somebody know that you care enough about yourself. And also you can send me details of situations you've been through that made you self-aware, and things that you've done, other things that I've mentioned to, report the disrespect, or, all of that stuff. Because we've got to do better loving on each other and loving on ourselves, black women. And this one was for you. And I hope that you tuned in and you loved it. And I hope that I said some real shit that needed to be said, and again, me battling with my mental health, that's going to be for a lifetime. I have therapy, and I use my tools. So with mental health, just know that I'm going to continue to talk about it. I'm going to continue to have things that trigger me, but I'm going to figure it out. And I want you to figure it out too, black women. And I don't want you to keep it to yourself. I want you to get out there and get some help. Talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, talk to a pastor. But make sure that you don't sit on it and then it becomes trauma, and then you spew that on to, everybody that's around you. And then you get the stigma of this angry black woman that you don't even need, because you're not addressing what you do need. All right. I love you, sis. All right. Continue to love on yourself. Until next time, y'all, stay medicated, stay loved, love yourself, and I'll see you next time. All right. I ain't going to stay away too long no more. I promise you. Now, somewhere somebody got to get paid. So here's the promo. Let's check out TriveLLC.com. Make sure you check out the blog. Leave a comment. join and subscribe so you can get some free tutorials. And if you a gamer, man, tap in. Let's play online. Follow us on Twitch. All that good stuff. I got all the links, social media, podcasting. We're on all platforms, and it's been great to come to the point where I can say that we're going to share the love. Keep tapped in. And when you purchase something, when you comment something, you get a chance, enter to get a chance to win some free merch. So remember that. Let's keep it going. Trive Vibe.